Akeem Ashaolu is one of our in-house senior AI engineer at Cloudplexo. Cloudplexo is also an AWS advanced partner where he architects and implements sophisticated AI solution. His expertise in machine learning and cloud computing allows him to translate complex business problems into tangible AI-driven results. So Akeem is your guide when it comes to AI and GenAI. Akeem, hi. Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
All right. Yeah, so thank you for having me. I'm going to be sharing my screen just in a minute. Okay. So can we also my screen now?
Yes.
All right. So good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining today's presentation on AI agents and AI implementation so far. It has been a lovely presentation so far. My name is Akeem Ashaolu, and I'll be sharing my experience developing, on how to develop an intelligent assistant using an AI agent flows. And today's presentation will basically just demonstrate how large language models, when combined with some specialized tools, can actually transform workflows. So the key question for today's presentation is actually how can AI agent transform workflows, right? So actually, why maintaining human touch? Because definitely we don't want to actually replace. We can't say AI is going to actually replace human entirely, right? So definitely there's still going to be some human touch there, but that's if when it's actually highly essential, right? But how is this going to happen, right? So this is basically not just about automation. It's actually about augmentation that actually enhances human decision making in processes. Okay, so the case studies I will actually be leveraging on today is streamlining recruitment pipeline without losing or personalized approach candidates expect, right? So I'll walk through how we approach this, right? And also we'll be comparing two implementation methods, which is one via the AWS Bedrock console, and also a custom built method. So I'll just talk about a bit about the problem itself on the use case that we're using, which has to do with recruitment team facing some quite number of challenges, like their skill matching could be often subjective and varies between evaluators. Interviews scheduling involve multiple back and forth communications, right? And the resume screening could be inconsistent or time consuming. This challenge actually extends hiring times and can result in missing out top talent who accept offers elsewhere during lengthy processes, right? So the solution we're bringing into this is to develop an AI agent that can actually pass resumes, right? Extract relevant skills and experiences, match candidates to job, and automate interview scheduling and coordinations, generate standardized candidate assessments, answer recruitment queries, and the likes. So by tackling this specific pain points, we aim to reduce time to hire while improving both the candidates and recruiters' experience. So the solution basically it actually has several key capabilities, which has to do with leveraging on NLP to understand the process, the queries, and also it's also leveraged on a planning system to break down the complex tasks into executive step, integrate. And this is actually what AI agent does basically. Like if you want to build an AI agent, you tend to like allow it to ensure that it plans its tasks and also kind of assess those tasks to ensure that those tasks are actually valid and they are correct before it gives you a response. So just a bit about the implementation approaches, which I've mentioned initially. So we'll be leveraging on AWS Bedrock agent, which is on AWS console itself. And also see custom implementation of it, which was done, from scratch. It's a ground up approach building, which was built around AWS Bedrock API also. However, this was actually leveraged on a ground up, that's a from scratch orchestration, planning, and specialized tool, rather than leveraging on the fully managed agent development on AWS. Just the architectures. This is architecture basically for AWS Bedrock implementation. That's for agents. So it receives human queries, and these are passed to the agent. So under the agent, you can actually create what's called action groups. So these action groups are actually the functions that you want to. These are things that you call tools that you want to leverage and that you want the agent to be able to make use of. So in our case, we want to create a candidate search tool, which is an action, a resume passing tool, and an interview scheduling action. So it also leverages on an LLM for response generation and retrieval. So this just as we've seen it, the flow is from the query, it's being passed to an agent. Agent does its thing by searching for candidates, passing the resume of that candidate, and also sending an email depending on the status of that candidate actually. So if the candidate is successful, aligns well with the role, then get a successful email. If not, I get the otherwise, and if probably there are additional information or something. So all of this can actually be specified in all of these action groups, which are the functions that we have in here. So the other architecture is that of the custom implementation. If you look at it at a glance, you see that it's a bit complex, and this is because it actually give you more control over how the system behaves, the integration capability. You have full access to like control how it works basically, unlike the Bedrock agents, right? But the advantage of Bedrock agents, that's AWS Bedrock agents, that's through the constant says that it actually brings you up to speed. You can actually develop an agent within few minutes, few time, like in a very short period of time, right? I don't want to say a day or two, but in a very short period of time, you can actually develop a full-fledged AI agent on the console. So yeah, this is just about it. We'll just move straight to the demo. Okay. So I'll be sharing my screen there. So I'm starting with the AWS Bedrock agent environment. So this is AWS Bedrock interface, right? And this is the agents that are already created for this demo. So it's called an HR agent. So if we look at it, this gives us an overview of the agent basically, and some other information. But at time when we will need to edit or to see more information about the agent, so we need to click on edit agent builder. So from here, we can know the kind of model it's actually leverages on, right? We can also know about the prompt that acts as system prompt. So this instruction for the agent. So this acts as system prompt, and we can also see the action groups. So these are the action groups. If I click on this, I will see the list of action groups that we have. So we have about 3 of them. So one for sending emails, which sends the interview schedule to the successful candidate. Other one for passing resume, and the last one for processing the recruitment. So that's trying to fetch the candidate information and the likes. So we actually need to specify a lot of parameters in this case, and a lambda is actually specified to run all of these tasks, right? So you can actually decide to create a new lambda, or you select, since I already have an existing lambda for this. So I'm using an existing lambda for to control the actions that the agent actually performs. So we can actually see the agent in action. Maybe before we see that, let me just take us through the Lambda function. So we see how the code is basically. It's not really serious though. Okay. So we have the Lambda running. All right, so looking at this, we have the main Lambda handler, right, which actually acts as an entry point for the actions, right? And then we have, since we find our functions and the action groups, so we need to specify the functions and then kind of just manage how it runs through each of the functions in the code. So whenever we set the function to be process recruitment, right? So it does the three workflows. That is, it retrieves candidates data, it passes candidate's resume. That once it receives candidate data, it assumes that the data has uploaded, the candidate has uploaded his or her resume into an S3 bucket or the company's database or something, and then the agent can actually fetch based on the query of the HR admin. Like let's say probably the HR admin, okay, I need a candidate with 3 years experience with Python and the like. So those attributes can be sent to the agent. Agent picks up that and they try to like find users that are aligned with the attributes that are in the query. So gets the candidates. So when it gets the candidate's information, gets the candidate resume, also it passes it to the next function, which does the resume passing. So it kind of just analyze the resume. So if it sees that the resume actually aligns with the role that is open by the HR admin, then it moves to the next one, sends the top candidates to the next stage, whereby it sends an email to them. So what do you think this will do basically? This will actually reduce the number of times a recruitment process actually go through, in the sense that let's say for instance you can actually apply for a job, right? And maybe in space of few, even within a day, you can actually get a response, right? So it can actually be automated like response, such that once you upload your S3, you upload your resume, right? So this can actually trigger all of these functionalities, and then your resume is being analyzed, is being passed, and then you can get an email depending on whether it's successful or it's unsuccessful, right? But then we can still make use of, we can still implement a user, that's a human interaction with it, such that a human can come in between to verify all of this before it actually moves to the next process. This is also possible, right? But just when you want to do a complete automation, yes, it's very much possible with AI agents, because you are giving him instructions to do, right? And also there's a level of assessment that you can do. So I'll be talking about the assessment part in the second approach, because on this other approach, like I said, you have more control. You can actually see how deep, you can go very deep in terms of developing the AI agent itself. So let's just go back to the agent interface and then we see how it works. So I'm going to be asking him some few questions. Right. So I have some questions I already put down. So let me just go there. So I asked to find Python developers with at least 3 years of experience and schedule interviews for them. So in this case now, I'm giving it right to actually schedule it, to go ahead to schedule the interview. So it's going to the database, the data are not actually much, so it's quite easy to query data and also analyze all of this information in few times. So I was able to find some qualified Python developer that has 5 years experience. So I say that the candidate has expertise in this is more like a summary of what he experienced while he was trying to process the data in the database. So he has been able to send an interview invite to the user and schedule. So this recruitment process has been completed successfully. So you can imagine if truly like you kind of automate it from the S3 point of view, that's when a user uploads a resume, and then from there it's actually, rather than the HR admin triggering this from the UI, So if probably this is actually fully automated from upload point of view, and then it's been analyzed, and then also a judgment is passed through to that resume instantly, right? It's actually going to be very interesting to see that even recruitment doesn't actually take a week, 2 weeks anymore, right? Because you can actually get your resume passed, and also can get a better like a judgment based on your skills. So there won't be maybe, except if probably want to actually still implement some human interaction with the user to test some other parts of human behaviors and the like. So, but aside that, based on skills level and experience and all, yeah, I think the AI agents will do very much more in that area. And yeah, I believe also this can actually go further when it comes to AI, such that you can actually have an AI that can actually test, check human behavior, maybe like have a live real time interview with an AI system, an AI solution. This is very much possible actually, although I've not explored it fully. I think I've done one or two around that. But there's still some there's still some challenges I'm facing around that area. But yeah, I'm very sure this is actually very much possible. So that is that on the console. Let me just, because I think we are really far behind schedule. So let me just really put us through the other part of the application. So I'm going to be sharing the other tab too. Yeah, so for this, I just developed a UI application to integrate the APIs, that's backend APIs with it. But I can also take us to the code base itself to see what's there. Let me stop sharing. Okay. All right, so this is the back end of this is the second this is the custom approach now. So this is the back end of the API, so that's the application itself. I'll just go through the files, each of the files, one after the other. So the first one here we have the assessment. So this is where the controls actually come in when it comes to the custom approach, whereby you have more like a guide that actually checks and validates whatever the AI agent is doing. So we have an assessment functionality that helps check what the AI is actually doing in terms of reviewing candidates resume and their profiles and the likes. So how well is it doing it? Like, is it actually doing it the proper way? Is it checking the right terms and information that are required based on the HR admin's query? So this is the file that actually handles that. So we also have the base agent. So the base agent actually acts like just as we saw on the Bedrock interface. So it acts as the instruction for the agent basically. So this is more like uh this is the default system prompt, right, which we'll be referencing in terms of by the time we are building those agents. So if you look at it, you have this as bit agent, so which means that we can actually leverage on this class and use it to create another agent, right? So like for instance now for this case we have the recruitment agent, so which means that we can also have some other kind of agent, like maybe in a whole company, right? Apart from HR department. So let's say we want to have another agent that does some tasks for maybe the accounting department, or maybe that some other agent that does that for the data analytics department, whereby it generates data reports, sales reports, and the likes. So we can also create this kind of agent, but then we'll create them based on this base agent class. So the next one, this is the human resource. This is the UI. This one handles the UI itself. So the UI is actually built on Streamlit, right? Just for us to have this demo scene to be seen on our screen. So this is planning. Planning for actually does the planning of the whole process in terms of when you ask it to do a particular task, so it tends to like reason, try to like plan what it needs to do. We'll actually see that when we run a query in this. So see how it plans, what it actually outlines, what it needs to do and all, before it goes ahead to perform those tasks. So this is the function that handles the API itself. I'm using Fast API in this case. And this is the recruitment agent. So this is the recruitment agent class itself, right? And where all of these tools are, just like what we saw on the AWS Bedrock interface, where we have the action groups. So this will stand as what is called action group on the AWS Bedrock agent interface. So we have the candidates data tool, we have the resume parcel, we have website, we have meeting scheduler, we have email sender. So in this case now, we can actually include, although we can also include a website tool on that, just for us to like describe the function for that, right? But I think there are limits to on the agents interface. So I think we can only have about 3 action groups on it as a goal, right? And also there are limits on parameters. So we can only have maximum of 5 parameters to per action groups. So, but in this case, there are no limits to the number of parameters. You have no limits to the number of tools that you can actually leverage on, right? But then you can still wrap it around AWS Bedrock model APIs. So next one is the system prompt itself. So this is the comprehensive system prompt, right? Whenever you tend to like run a query. So these are the instructions that are given to the AI agent. So it tells it how the database schema is. It gives it examples of what status values is it looking for, the type of interviews. So all of this information are giving the detailed information so that it actually captures or it does the screening properly and religiously. So the next one, we have the tools. So this is where all the tools are actually defined. It's a very long list of code, right? Although this could be split into different files, but just to have, it's just for a demo, definitely. So we can just have it this way. So we have a very long list of code. We have the candidates tool, and just collapse this. We have the resume tool, we have the website tool, we have the meeting scheduler, we have the email sender. So for the email sender, we are leveraging on SES in this case to send out emails. So yeah, that's about. So the last one here is the utils, where we just make use of some particular utility functions as stated here. So I already have the application running. That's the backend itself running already, and I have the backend running here also. So I can just make a query on the application. So let's go back to the UI part. Share my screen back. Right. So yeah, on the UI, we have dashboard, we have the candidate search tool. We can leverage on the candidate search tool here. This is also where human verification can actually come in. So you can actually do each of the processes one after the other, and then you verify before you move to the next one. So for instance, now let's say, so I already have all of this actually in UI format, so I actually don't need to type the queries. I don't have to type it in queries. I can just select, let's say, in technology, and I can search for candidates. So I want it to actually give me a list of candidates that have a minimum of 3 years experience, and they have industry experience in technology, and also have the required skills of Python and JavaScript. So just before we get a response from that, I would like us to see what's going on the code here. So let me share that screen back again. So this is what I was saying regarding the AI agent trying to like plan what it needs to do, right? So I've passed in the query to it just as I've selected uh the uh the UI widget, right? So it already gave me the queries here. And it's the query goes find candidates who have experience with Python, JavaScript, preferably 3+ years of experience who have worked in technology, right? So the next thing would be for you to think about the process itself. So it's trying to find candidates that meets this criteria from database, right? So the first thing that it plans to do was to build an SQL query to retrieve relevant candidates from database based on these following skills, on the experience and whether the current or previous company is in the technology industry. So it says it's going to execute a query to using the retrieve candidate data tool and analyze and filter the results further if needed, summarize the qualifications of the top candidates in final response. So he's thinking, he's trying to construct the SQL query here, right? And he's going to retrieve candidates with at least 3 years experience, skills containing Python or JavaScript, then current company containing tech. So this actually gives gives the agent more like the agent's kind of plans what it needs to do, and it tells you how it's going to actually process all of this. So let's go back and see the response on the UI. So on the UI, this is that it says based on the criteria of at least 3 years experience, appropriate working tech. Yeah, some top candidate profiles. We have John Doe, we have Tim Smith, we have Alex Johnson. So yeah, so it's already recommending that okay, based on their skill sets and their experience and the places of work where they've worked before. So you recommend further reviewing of their resume portfolios and scheduling technical portfolio to fully evaluate their qualifications. So it's also giving its own recommendation apart from even getting you those candidates profile, also giving recommendation and the like. So you can also do resume screening, whereby we can just upload a resume that it's going to analyze. Let me just quickly do that. Also, I'm going to just drop one of uh, okay. So yeah, let us access the screen this resume. So it's trying to analyze the resume and see if it's aligned with the position that you're screening for. So this might take a bit of time because it's trying to like think through all of this. So while this is actually going on, I don't know if probably any questions yet, probably any suggestions, additions, or questions that you have currently. So you can just quickly talk about that pending when the results be out. Any question? Yeah. All right, I think it's done. Yeah, so let's just go back to the screen. So it was able to analyze the analysis, the resume, and give his own recommendation. So he said, yeah, and he gave some potential gaps. However, for a traditional software engineer, there are some potential gaps in his experience, such as this, and to further assess his fit for surgery, I would recommend conducting this. And also, I think it gives some, okay, yeah, in following areas. So these are more like how, it's more like giving a plan of how the admin should actually assess this particular user. And also, it's also giving an overall recommendation on the candidate. So the next one basically will just be to send an email, or probably depending on the HR decision. So the HR has power to actually make decision in this case, and then see, okay, he probably wants to send an email to invite the user for an interview, or maybe request for additional information about the user, or probably just decide that, okay, maybe the user is not fit for the role basically. I think that will be all from my end. We shouldn't really take much time, so I'm just going to go back to the slides. I'm to share it. So what are the key points on this? So a system prompt design is very much critical. The instructions we give the agent actually affects his behavior and capability. So we need to ensure that we write a clear and comprehensive system prompt, right? Just as we saw the system prompt that we use for the custom implementation. It's a very, very comprehensive prompt, right? And that is why the agent can actually perform some tasks now without it being asked to do. Like, he knows what to do. It's more like he knows what to do. You've given him instruction on what to do already, so he knows what to do. And also in terms of planning and a planning approach, which actually improves complex tasks execution, right? Breaking down the complex equipment tasks in smaller steps, makes the overall process more reliable, right? Just as we saw also on the terminal. And when integrating with databases, another step, we need to ensure that, okay, their error handling is very essential, right? We already did some size limitations and fallback mechanism in the current implementation that we did. And user experience too should be balanced, and human oversight remains essential, which is where this custom implementation to come, whereby you can actually see what's going on. It tells you what to do, and you can make some actions on your own. You can decide to to automate it also. It was just run everything at a go. Yeah, I think that would be all for me. If there are no questions, I'll just say thank you very much for your attention. And if you'd like to learn more, discuss how this might apply to maybe your business organization, you can reach out to our Cloudplexo via our website, social media, or shoot us an email at connect@cloudplexo. Thank you very much for watching the demo.
All right, thank you very much, Akeem. A round of applause for Akeem in the comment section. And while that's going on, you can also drop your chats and comments for Akeem in the comments while we try to wrap up. As we wrap up, we would like to bring to your attention that this was kindly organized by Cloudplexo. And as we have said earlier, Cloudplexo is an advanced AWS consulting and technology partner. What this means is that we can extend AWS services to you, and we've brought this to show you what's possible within the generative AI space. We have showcased a myriad of use cases, and we know that you don't want to just end in knowing what's possible. You want to go ahead to implement. You must have listened to some speakers mention how compute is an issue, or getting data for implementation might be an issue. So these are some of the things that Cloudplexo wants to assist you in putting through, all right? And that's why we're introducing to you again our Cloudplexo AI Acceleration Program. Our AI Acceleration Program takes you step by step from where you are. Either you are clueless as to how to drive your generative AI strategy in your organization, or you are already doing some things and you just need some help or some resources in moving that further. And we do that for you with the help of our AWS expertise. We have a AWS certified solutions architect in different domains, in generative, in AI, in ML, in cloud optimization, in DevOps. We can help you with every stage of your AI journey. And so we do this for different cadres of organizations, from startups to SMBs and enterprises, and different kinds of offerings exist for different types of organizations. So for startups, we will help you with cost optimizations and credits. For SMBs, we automate your repetitive tasks. And for enterprise, we know that you'll be very particular about security and compliance and seamless integration, ensuring that your uptime is very, very close to 100%. And this we can help with respect to whichever stage you are in your AI journey. We have different tools that enable you to achieve this, and we can help you right from the AI tools and services to machine learning to AI infrastructure and then to your data foundation. We know that different organizations are at different stages in their AI journey, and we would like to talk to you and learn about where you are and how to help you go from where you are to where you want to be. And we have different tools within the AWS ecosystem for compute, for storage, for inference, for generative AI implementation, and you would learn most of them as we get to talk to you on the journey. We have Amazon Q that can help you deploy custom agents and assistants. We have Amazon Bedrock that can help you with scaling generative AI solutions, and SageMaker with machine learning development. Many of this you would get to learn as we go on. We have demoed some use cases here through our panelists, and you have seen customer service, you've seen some process automation and personalization. Predictive analysis is also possible through AI, and we can help you get through this. So you can just go through the chat section or through our website. Someone will drop in the chat section now a link to book a call with us, and we can listen to you. We know that every organization has very unique needs, and we prefer to talk to you one-on-one and to know where you'd like to be. So just reach out to us, book a call, a discovery call in our calendar. We'll take you from where you are to where you want to be. We have several use cases where we have helped different types of organizations. A very good example is Friends and Power building the next level healthcare, AI-powered healthcare solution for people who are having mental health issues, and we help them to build their generative AI infrastructure, and they have been able to secure additional funding and to scale across different regions. There are many more, but for sake of time constraints, we might not be able to share with you. We have several other use cases and testimonials from very, very robust institutions like Convexity here, who we've helped to build and scale their DevOps and AI processes from the scratch. And would like to also take more clients like this and who are looking to scale. So just on the chat section now, a link must have dropped for you to book a quick call with us. You can just click on that link and just book a suitable time. Someone from our team will reach out to you. Also, if you have missed any part of these presentations, we will be sharing with you the recording, so you can easily access that. Slides also will be available to you through the link that you get in your email box. And so once again, want to say thank you so much for joining us on this session. We hope that you got a lot of value from it, and we also enjoyed sharing the room with you, and we'd love to have you some other time. Just look out for your email box. We'll share with you many other events that we are having and that are coming as we move forward in the year. We have a lot in stock for people who are building and scaling in technology solutions. At this point, I think I can then hand us over to Anita to wrap it up. Anita, how has it been for you?
It was a very amazing session. Everything back to back was very insightful. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining the call. Like David said, we are at your beck and call for any AI acceleration service that you need. Thank you so much for joining the call, and have a very lovely day. Bye, everyone.
All right, bye, everyone.